Help support the show by joining the Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. Also, hit that like button and subscribe if you want more Browns-focused content.
All right, we got TYVIS here, and look, he's been itching to get this one off on me.
Not itching.
He been waiting. He been waiting.
Because you out of line. You out of line.
He been texting me all week talking about, so I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. You know,
that's all I'm gonna say is you out of line.
He sent me threatening text this week. He you know how people say the gloves are off? He said hats off. No Guardians cat today. But we're talking about this rookie class. I think there are some interesting conversations to be had of it, right? It's obvious Mendoza's going number one. I think we know that, right?
That's a foregone conclusion.
That's going to happen. They paid $27 million a year for a center. You're drafting a quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. It's done. They might as well just go ahead and get the contract written up.
Already just get them just like the old days. Remember they had Mario Williams signed? Like,
they had the one, Jake Long. They got to the draft. They was already on pick 2 because Jake Long was already
Mario
signed.
Williams and Sam Bradford had signed their deals by the time
it's already done.
They don't know nothing about that. But this quarterback class has not had many defenders. It's been pretty ragged on. TYVIS, I don't think like you're saying this is an amazing quarterback class, right? Like try to understand your position. But what you are saying is that there are players in this class at the quarterback position that people thought could be something that after this year, their stock dropped dramatically. You still think they have value. Now,
I do.
I think the best thing to clarify for this conversation is this. When you say value, what does that mean to you
They could be a starting quarterback in the league.
Okay, as far as what you're willing to risk to potentially see that value.
What you mean?
Like what draft picks are you willing to use on that value? You know what I mean? Like
I believe that they can go as high as the 3rd round. Outside of the top 2 guys, Fernando and Ty Simpson, I think are going to go in the 1st round. The other one, from that moment on, 3rd round and beyond.
3rd round and beyond. So no 2nd round. We feel the exact same about that. Okay. Well, now, who of that group of quarterbacks do you like the most?
I think the top 2 would be Drew Aller and Garrett Nusmeer. I think those are the 2. It's something there. I do. I believe that.
All right. So what if, like, from when you watch Drew Aller, what do you see about him as a quarterback?
Drew Aller is the prototypical quarterback. He's 6'5". He's got this big, strong arm. He really can make every throw. My thing with Drew Aller is I don't know who his quarterback coach is, but I don't think they taught him how to see things. It takes him too long to process certain things, and I don't think he goes through his progressions fast enough. I think he's a one-read guy and then tries to force something that's not there. I think that's his problem. But if you can get him to go 1, 2, 3 to check down, I think if he can speed that up, he can make every throw. I mean, if you watched him throw at the combine, dude was making every throw, and it looked very effortless. The ball left his hand very effortlessly. So to me, arm strength arm talent and arm strength is not a problem for him. I just don't think they did him a good job with teaching him how to play quarterback, how to read coverages, how to get to your progressions. And if you can do that, I think he has all the tangibles already to be a good quarterback.
Okay, and then Garrett Nusmeer?
Garrett Nusmeier's problem is that he turns the ball over too much, but he is a good quarterback as well. Also, he can make all the throws. He's 6'1", has some big moments and has some big games. This year, he kind of fell off a cliff. He got hurt at a certain point at the time of the season, but this is a guy who's a leader, son of a coach. So the game of football has been instilled in him. he just trusts his arm a little bit too much than what I think it is. So to him, he needs to understand what his limitations is, and he needs to learn how to live to see another down.
All right. And then do you think that these are like, do you view these as like options? You think that they could be starters if they go to Cleveland, or is this more of a conversation about their career?
Obviously, we have not been really good in the past at developing quarterbacks. So this is something that I would love for them to be a project to Rams, Minnesota, San Fran. I think that those guys do a really good job of helping quarterbacks see the game, how it's supposed to be played, and helps them out. I think if they want to go to what I call quarterback rehab and go to one of those three places, I think that ultimately can help their career. Now, I think that if Ty Simpson doesn't go to the Rams, I think one of those guys definitely goes to the Rams, sit behind Matthew Stafford, and then could actually have a really good career after that.
Yeah, the Drew Aller thing is interesting because like there was like a moment there. My big issue with Drew is that he has consistently demonstrated that in high pressure situations, he will make bad decisions.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair. You think about the Oregon game last year. The pick he threw was egregious at home.
You think
about when they lost to the Notre Dame collapse right before the championship game, trying to dirt a ball, and he throws a pick straight to the guy. It's egregious. 100% agree with you. But can you also admit he didn't have a lot of talent to work with either at the receiver position?
No, there were some funky things. I'm not the biggest James Franklin fan. I think that he had some funky rules too in that quarterback room. I remember him mentioning that they have a no check down or no throw out of bounds rule. Out there at Penn State,
that's
you always have to check.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard.
You have to always check it out. Like, there's some funky stuff. I would have loved to see him go somewhere else. I do think, though, like, if you play enough football, like, if you play, he played 3 years as a starter at Penn State?
I think that is correct.
So, like, if you play enough football and won during those 3 years, I don't think there was a consistent course of development for him, right? Like, I think he got better sometimes, but I don't think
I don't think he got better from where he was year 1 to year 3. He didn't look that much better to me at all.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That lets me know that the coaching is not great.
Yeah. Or it could also be, right, as much as it could be the coaching, it could also be the, maybe
the player?
Yeah, he's not the greatest at receiving the coaching, right?
That's a thing too. Sometimes it takes people a couple of times to hear it before you can comprehend and grasp it.
And some people don't never hear, right?
That's true.
Some people can't never tell nothing. So there, and like the kind of mistakes that he makes, I would have a hard time believing that if he had not demonstrated progress, which I think, like, you go back to his first year, the crazy dumb interceptions were there, right? You go to his second year, they're there. You go to his third year, they're there, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of a fatal flaw for a quarterback. Like, I don't know if that's something that if that's something that you're always capable of. It's like the running back who fumbles or the wide receiver who can't catch. Like, it is one of those flaws where it's like...
it was a quarterback that had these same flaws, and he was number 1 pick. His name was Jameis Winston.
True. But did that end up being a wise decision?
That's not the point. That's not the point.
I mean, it's part of the point, right?
Just saying.
Did it? Because, like, the whole thing with Jameis was, man, he was so good that first year at Florida State. We not even going to worry about this last year he done had. He done lost talent, right? That was the big thing. And then it turned out that he told you who he was in that second year at Florida State. But see, that goes back to the ideal of, like, sometimes we fall in love with what that first impression of that player gives us and what that makes us believe that player can be. But they got to follow up on it, right? In order for it to really mean anything. And if they don't follow up on it, then they don't get to be like, oh, yeah, well, last year I thought that he could be good, so maybe he could still be good. It's like, I got to factor all of that in. Or else you could end up in a Jameis situation, right? Where Jameis throws a million interceptions his second year at Florida State, and we're like, oh, no. He lost Kelvin Benjamin, right? Like, he lost his wide receivers, and we find out, no, that's part of who Jameis is.
I just maybe see that right there, that might fit more so for Garrett Nusmeer. Yeah. Like that's just who he gonna throw picks. Like that's just what it is. But like Drew, I don't know. Like Drew to me, he's never really had the guy on the outside for me to be like if they did a better job of having like a bunch of receivers that was just like that and he just couldn't get the ball to him or like forcing, like I would understand. But like outside of Tyler Warren, that's when they had their deepest run, is when he had a Tyler Warren, a guy he knew he could get the ball to that can win one-on-one consistently. Like he actually was decent. Like he was fine. So like to me, I'm thinking if you could get him surrounded by some talent and you could teach him some of the stuff and you could actually let him throw the ball away. Like I say, I'm not saying he coming in the league next year, he gonna be just a bona fide starter. That's not what I'm saying. He is one of those guys that need to sit for maybe a year and a half, learn the game, understand it, have a good mentor and a good quarterbacks coach. And I think it's something there.
Okay, here's another question. What do you do with the prospect where you feel like you might want to be the second team that gets him? Because I felt the same exact way about Jalen Milroe, where I'm like, there's talent there. I love his personality. I think he needs to go to another team or two before he's going to be who he could be in the NFL, right? Like Malik Willis is another example of this, right? Just got paid. We'll see what he turns out to be. But you did not want to be that first team that took the swing on him, right? Like,
I feel like that's how a lot of people feel about these quarterbacks.
Like in this class. So like what does that do to my thing is like when you feel like when it's a draft, right? And the whole point around all of these quarterbacks is maybe one day, but I don't want to be the team that drafts them. How do you then value that? Because like
you have to trust that your staff can develop. I know that's like for the Browns, it's hard to fathom that because again, we haven't really done that on the offensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. But you have to have so much confidence in your coaching staff or in the coach to say, I know that I can get, like they wasn't teaching him right. Like you must have had to have a conversation with him, had him draw things up, and he just was like, oh, see, I see why he was wrong because they was telling him this, but I'm gonna teach him this, that, and the third, and I know he could pick it up if I explained it to him like this. You know, like Sam Darnold was perfect. Sam Darnold, again, he went to San Francisco, said Kyle Shanahan told him to explain the game to him in a way that he never heard it before. And now, boom, 3 years later or 2 years later, he's a Super Bowl champion. Like that. That's because if a coach believes that they are that good and they're good in that craft and know what they're doing, they should be able to look at a Drew Aller or a Garrett Nusmeer and be like, I know that I can fix that.
All right. So with that, like kind of mindset, right? Where you're like, they have traits. Those traits didn't disappear. They can still be worked with. What do you do with somebody like Anthony Richardson then? Like, is there a point where there is enough? Like, well, there is obviously a point, but what point is there where it's like, I've seen enough. I don't think that the squeeze is the juice is worth the squeeze, right? Because you can look at Anthony Richardson, former top 5 pick, and he's 23 years old, about the same age as most of these quarterbacks coming out.
Anthony Richardson is one of those guys that if you look at it, Anthony Richardson has never dominated the sport. You can go look at his high school numbers, you can look at his college numbers, and you can look at his NFL numbers. They're all comparable. They're all about the exact same. So therefore, he's never had a moment where he's actually dominated the game. So why would you think that all of a sudden now he's going to dominate the game in the NFL? Like that, to me, that's a mistake. To where the other guys, I believe, were high recruits and all of those things, and actually had moments where they actually did take over games or look good in games. To where with Anthony Richardson, I just can't think of a dominant year he had. Like at least, like we talk bad about Drew Aller, but Drew Aller had his team literally one bad throw away from being in the national championship. Like
one of
you
his
got to give credit for that.
But I see your point. Like
you know what I mean? Stop it. You know what I mean?
One of his bad throws, like somebody ain't come into the game and throw that pass, right?
I'm just saying, but it was a moment where he looked like he actually could have a chance.
Yeah,
I think they were winning that game.
I think, like, to kind of confirm what you're saying, right? You're saying the difference is you have watched Drew Aller play football and saw the case for him as an NFL quarterback.
Correct.
You could say the same thing for Garrett. You have never watched Anthony Richardson play a game in his life where you felt that way about him. Everything about seeing the case for him is measurables to you.
Yes.
It's interesting.
You know a dominant game at Florida he played where you was like,
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch a lot of Florida at that time. Like, you know what I mean? Like how much Florida were we watching when he was out there? They was like 8-3 consistently.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. They weren't that
There
good.
might be a game. Like, to be fair to Anthony Richardson, there might be a game. Did we watch it? Like, let's be fair to Anthony Richardson. Let's look up his
I gotta go look at his college game log.
Yeah, let's go look at his game log, because like we might be doing him a disservice, right? Because we both Midwest bias. If that Florida versus Mizzou game on at the same time that like Ohio State Notre Dame on,
I don't recall it. I don't recall it.
He never played a big game in college though, right? Like I think that's also
he was 17 touchdowns, 9 picks in his last year, 53% completion percentage. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like
let's go through the game log. And like it has to be a real team too, like an SEC team.
We ain't doing.
He can't be
Georgia Southern or nothing like that. We ain't doing that.
Out here beating Grambling.
Yeah, we ain't doing that.
Let's see. Let's try to go through the log here. Career high in passing touchdowns was 3. I think the best game he had was against Florida State. He had a 400-yard passing game versus Vanderbilt on the road.
He had a good game against Tennessee. 453 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick.
LSU, he had one. When we look
but he had a 54 completion, 24-44. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say about Anthony Richardson. Let me ask you this question: Would you rather spend a third on one of the players you mentioned, a third on Jalen Milroe, or a 6 on Anthony Richardson? Like rank that in the order of where you would go. Because with Milroe, what you said, there were times when Milroe dominated in college.
Yeah. So you said Jalen Milroe, Anthony Richardson, and who's the other one?
And then just straight up drafting the 2 guys you mentioned, Drew Aller and Garrett Nusmeer. Right. I would
start off with Jalen Milroe.
Mm-hmm.
The next person would probably be Drew. The next person would probably be Garrett, and then Anthony Richardson.
Well, you're very low on Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. I think it depends. Like, if you're talking about a guy who can scramble and be physical, like, perfect. That's cool. He could do that. You telling me you want a guy that can play quarterback for 17 games and look consistent? I just don't think it's there. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair opinion on Anthony Richardson, right? I don't think anybody is debating that.
It's not like I don't like the guy or anything like that. I just, I haven't seen it. I have not personally seen it. His best plays that I've seen was him running the ball and running people over in the league with the Colts.
Yeah, I mean, he made some nice throws. I'll give him this, though. You look at that Colts tape.
He's got a big arm. He should.
You look at the Colts tapes. There are wild throws in that Colts tape. I think both years. I will give Anthony Richardson that. I think trading a 6 and maybe a 7th next year is about the right price for him. A pick swap involved in that too.
Yeah,
I think that's
probably.
about the right price for him. Would you feel now the whole competition angle of this, right? Like, do you feel comfortable bringing one of those rookies in and having them compete for the starting job right away?
And Cleveland?
Yeah. No, I don't think you so like if you're the Browns, let's focus this one back to the Browns. If you're the Browns, how do you want them to build out that quarterback room?
I want them to get a veteran.
Who you want them to get? That's
the problem. that right there is my problem. Who's available? Hold on, let me look at who's available right quick. If I had to pick a quarterback, come in here. Hold on. This is something. Available quarterbacks. This is very scarce. This is not great.
Okay, there's Kenny Pickett. Marcus Mariota is not on the market anymore.
I think Kenny Pickett's signed.
Yeah, there's Teddy Bridgewater, Mitchell Trubisky, Jake Browning, and Sam.
I'm going to go, if I had to pick one, it'd be Kirk Cousins, Joe Flacco, or Jimmy Garoppolo.
I don't think we need to bring Kirk Cousins here.
I didn't say to start.
Like, I honestly think, I don't think you need to add a veteran. I would rather.
You want to roll with Deshaun as the veteran?
I mean, Deshaun can be in the room as a vet. You know what I mean? He's got, like, I would think he would still be able to offer that, right? Like if we're just talking about somebody who's seen NFL coverages before and can tell them, hey, look for this. Deshaun should be capable of doing that. Like
in Deshaun's prime, he would break really good down the play of why he did what he did.
Deshaun's issues with like processing aren't that he forgot football. It's just that he can't process it at that breakneck speed when he's playing, right? So he should be able to provide fine insight for these quarterbacks in that room if you need that kind of mentorship from them. And he should be incentivized enough to do that because he wants to stay in the league. And if he wants to stay in the league, he has to prove he could be a productive part of a quarterback room without starting, because that's the path forward for him. It's not being a starter anymore. But so I don't really think they need to bring in a veteran. I also don't think, like, let's say Shedeur wins the competition. I don't think it's the best thing for him to have a name people know and like think of as a starting quarterback behind him. Like, it's the same thing where I was like, you kind of set up Dylan Gabriel to fail by having Shedeur Sanders behind him, because every time he was out there, every time he struggled, people wondered what Shedeur could do, right? If Shedeur ends up being the starter, which is entirely possible, right? It's very possible at this point. They haven't added anybody into the room I think can start over him. So if Shedeur is the starting quarterback and then you have Kirk Cousins behind him, that's going to create some of that rift there that we've seen, right? Where it's like people are still going to believe in the name Kirk Cousins. And maybe it might be just a fan thing, but if you're struggling, you know, if he's making some mistakes there, you might have some of the veteran players be like, nah, I've seen Kirk Cousins be a starting quarterback. Like, what are we wasting time with? Let's put him in. Let's stop playing with the rookie, you know? And you don't want that kind of situation to go in, where if it's like Trey Lance behind him, it's like, well, you know, you got to let him play it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's just easier to sell that way if that's the direction you're going. But like, if it's Jimmy Garoppolo there, people are gonna be like, well, he won games in San Francisco, and
but I don't think nobody's expecting much out of Kirk Cousins or Jimmy. Like, I think they kind of know, like, it's at the end of their rope.
I thought that was the case, and then I saw how they reacted to Joe Flacco.
Well, Joe Flacco won here.
Before Joe Flacco was winning here, when we just signed him off the street.
They weren't acting like that. They went to DTR. They went to DTR.
No, they were ready to get rid of DTR and go straight to Joe Flacco.
Well, I mean, once Joe came in the game, it was before that. It's halfway they fault, because they were the ones saying Joe got zip on the ball. He looks good in practice. He doesn't look like he just skipped a beat.
Well,
so they were putting that out.
Though, Ty. Like, when you say they, it was the coaching staff that was saying it, right? And that's the thing. It's like, if you dangle in front of the coaching staff, the people who are just motivated to win right now, hey, your young quarterback struggling, but Kirk Cousins, he doesn't look terrible. Like, that's going to be the same kind of thing, right? Like, I think they just need to bring in somebody who could reasonably compete for the job, and if you just want a reasonable hurdle for Shedeur to clear that makes you think, hey, if he cleared this hurdle, I don't think I'm going to have to bench him in the first 7 weeks. Like beating out Dylan Gabriel, beating out Deshaun Watson, I don't think we clear that hurdle. We don't know if that hurdle is cleared in camp. If you beat out Anthony Richardson, you beat out, I don't know, who's another name we could throw in there? Mitchell Trubisky, I guess? You want to throw Mitchell Trubisky?
I feel like he signed somewhere.
Did he sign to the Titans?
I think that's right.
Okay. So, like, I don't know who you want to throw in there, but if you throw out, let's say like Milroe would be a legit competition if you brought in Milroe, but he's not even available, right?
Yeah, they're not doing that. They're not gonna let him go because they.
And I don't think you draft another quarterback.
Trying to think. I mean, it ain't really. You got. These are terrible.
Let me go look at PFF.
Draft Driscoll, Hendon Hooker, Skylar Thompson, John Walford, Easton Stick, Brett Ripien,
Brett Ripien.
Carson Wentz, Josh Johnson, Brandon Allen, Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, Cooper Rush, Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is like, I don't think we should go Aaron Rodgers. I don't think we should go Kirk Cousins. I don't think we should go Russell Wilson. What about Tyrod?
No, you want Tyrod?
No, I'm asking you. What about Tyrod?
He looked terrible last year with the Jets.
I'm not saying bring in Tyrod to start. What would you bring in Justin Fields if he got released?
Sure.
Like Justin Fields? If he beats out Justin Fields, I would legitimately feel much better.
I would too.
I would be like, okay, we might have something.
Because Justin Fields also fits Todd Monken's mobility thing. Yeah. So,
all right. So that's respectful. I think we've come to an agreement here. Right? Bring in Justin Fields. And then if he beats him out, cool. We good.
That's fine.
We good. We good.
We can go with that. Yeah.
I'm okay with Justin as the backup.
I am too.
And I think we could get through 17 games and just play them too.
I agree.
I think
you know what? We deal.
You want to shake my hand?
That's a deal.
There you go. There you go. We have settled on Justin Fields. Okay? That is fine. All right. Quarterback room. So we want Shedeur, Justin Fields. Do you want Dylan still on the roster? I think you got to.
Sure, we got to have 4 for at least the preseason. So
yeah, for at least the preseason.
Let that play out.
We'll see what Deshaun looks like.
Yeah.
If Deshaun shows enough to where he might be able to play, it might be intriguing. We could do the old whoop-de-doop, right? We could just trade Justin Fields, get a 5th-round pick back, and then put Deshaun as the backup. Right?
That's right.
Okay. Yep. If Deshaun doesn't show anything, well, he got to back up. I mean, like Dylan, it depends on the level of not showing anything, right? Like.
I mean, if you go pay him, you can make him the emergency third quarterback.
It is well, he's in a situation that's kind of dangerous where he can't not be on the roster, but you could feel like it might be dangerous for him to put him out there. Like, I don't anticipate him being that bad, but hypothetically speaking, if Deshaun Watson were that bad, they would still have to keep him on the roster.
Yes.
And I would imagine that would mean that they would have to keep 4 quarterbacks all year. Which would be, they would get roasted for, but it's like, hey, if you don't think it's like, it's a tenable situation for him to go out there and play because of how he looks, I don't anticipate it being that bad. I think he could be emergency third quarterback. For sure. But it's possible that it's like, we see it and we're like, oh.
If he get out, listen, if Deshaun Watson get out there in this preseason, and he going against the 2s and the 3s, and he can't make it happen, that's a shame. That's a shame. It's over with. Like that. It is. This is a dude who dominated the league at a point. If he can't get it done against the 2s and the 3s, that's undrafted people like me. You can't get it done against them. Come on, man. Come on. It's over with. It's over.
I agree. I hope that it's not to that extent. I would love if Deshaun Watson could provide something for the enormous amount of money he's going to be taking up on the salary cap. I think, you know what I mean? Like, well, he was 15% of the cap this year, you know? Hey, look, it's not as bad as it could have been if they didn't restructure all this stuff. So good on them for doing that. But, hey, you know, it is possible. Like that. Like,
ain't nobody holding their breath on it, but it's possible.
It is possible. Like if I would put it at the same percent. I said earlier in the last video, 2% chance that Deshaun Watson's able to provide you starting quarterback. There is also a 2% chance on the other end that Deshaun Watson is so bad that you can't even have him as emergency quarterback.
That would be a shame. I don't think it could be. I don't think he could be that.
TYVIS, has there been anything about this experience that has not been a shame? Like, I feel like that's a fair question to ask. But it's I mean, like, just think about where we were in 2020 with him and think about where we are right now. We have gone past it's a shame. Like, man, like, it just is what it is. Look, when he first got here, I wasn't one of those people who wanted to bring him in. I wasn't saying anything against it, but I wasn't advocating for it. You know, I thought the cases made that thing a little tricky. I didn't want to do it, but they brought him in. 2022, I was like, hey, man, he was a top 5 quarterback. 2023, I'm like, hey, he showed some progress. Then he broke that throwing shoulder. But I was like, you know what? He showed progress in 2023. But 2024 happened. Hey, man.
Ready to move on. Let's just close that chapter.
And did the owner call him a failure? Like, you know, it's...
He ain't call him a failure.
He called the trade a failure.
He said they swung and missed.
If you swing and miss in baseball, what do they call that?
A strike.
A failure to hit the baseball. There was a mark and we failed to hit it. Okay. Like, that is where they sit there with that whole thing. They've admitted it. I think they don't have any they're just sitting this one out. They're going to post June 1st, cut them and ride this thing out, right? That's just where we are with it, right? So I don't hope that this happens to him. I hope that we're in the better 2% version of this than the worst 2% version of this. But I think there's a highly likely possibility he's probably the emergency third string quarterback.
We go see it. They talking him up right now.
Yeah. They do this every summer, man. Like they got me for 2 summers. They not getting me for no more. You know, like, they not getting me no more.
The good news is OTA start in 2 months. We will see.
And man, as much practice football as that man has played instead of actual football, he better be amazing.
In practice, he should be doing the most craziest things you ever seen.
Nobody has taken more 7-on-7 reps versus their like game reps in NFL history. Like,
you can't get no more ready than what he is.
Hey, man, we'll see what happens here with Deshaun, but we came to an agreement on the quarterback room.
We did.
Shedeur, Justin Fields, acceptable competition. Do we need a backup?
Nah,
we don't need a backup.
Yeah, we just gonna rock out like it is.
Is there anybody you would draft that you're like, all right, he can compete with him? I think that's fine.
Compete with Shedeur? Only person.
I think at that point you would have to go like somebody with a bunch of starts like Carson Beck, right? I know. Hey, look, I'm no fan.
If you want somebody that's going to truly compete with Shedeur, you have to take Ty Simpson at 6.
Are you interested in Ty Simpson at 24 or 39?
He'll probably be gone before then.
Well, let's say he's there at 39.
Me personally, I think he's going to have a better career than Fernando.
You think Ty Simpson gonna have a better career than Fernando?
I do.
So you think he's what, 24, or are you just low on Fernando?
I'm low on Fernando, but I also think that due to the fact that Fernando's going to the Raiders is going to be the reason why Ty Simpson.
You're betting on the franchise. That's
Correct.
what you're betting on.
Yeah.
It's less about the player. You're betting on the franchise. Now, it is possible he goes later, it still goes to somebody garbage.
Fair.
That is that. I mean,
you know what? You gotta ask me this after the draft.
Lock yourself into this after the draft, not before. Yeah, okay, I got you. But all right, TYVIS, man. Thought that was two interesting conversations you guys caught this week. TYVIS, man. Roll them credits. Let them know where to find you, dog.
If you're in the Columbus area, or even if you're not in the Columbus area, look on YouTube, T-Bone and TYVIS, or download 97.1 The Fan app. T-Bone and TYVIS in the morning, weekdays, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 11 to 1, but they moving the time to 10 to 12, starting on the 23rd. In the fall, Big Ten Network. On Saturdays, you can find me on Big Ten. Tailgate Show starts at 10 a.m. every Saturday. And Sundays, Browns pre- and post-game radio. Holla at me and Andy in the morning. Holla at me and Jeff Phelps in the after the game for the post-game.
All right. Make sure you guys go check TYVIS out. Thank you for giving us some time here to have the conversations. And just know, if they actually pull off the Justin Fields thing, we got to do the fist bump on Twitter.
I would hit you with the Martin me.
We agreed to this. But all right, y'all have a great day. Have an even better night.